Beryl Williams started working at the retailer in 1984 as a till packer. She speaks fondly of the man whom she credits for many milestones in her life.
I love this picture.
One of them being able to afford her first home at the tender age of 20.
So that's the person Mr. Ackerman was. He looked after his staff very well. You could have made loans and he will help you, help yourself whenever he can. That's why in 1986, I was a homeowner. I've got a loan from him. And you can even, after the one loan is finished, you can make another loan.
Since she has retired from the retailer, now a community worker, Williams says she is able to put into practice the valuable lessons learned from her former employer. Gifts and accolades received are amongst the items she treasures, and she feels honored to have met the businessman.
He fought with the apartheid government. That man fought, I can tell you that, for us, for consumers, for the people of South Africa. He fought for us with the apartheid government I'm talking of. Even with subsidized food prices needs to be dropped. Even with petrol prices has to be dropped because of Mr. Ackerman. He did a lot, not only to his staff, to the people, South Africans in the whole.
Those who had personal encounters with Ackerman say they will remember his lessons.
On this Friday night, it was particularly very busy, and we were packing, and cashiers were getting a bit uneasy and noisy and calling for people to come and pack because the groceries was just lined up. Mr. Ackerman walked in. He saw what was happening. He walked straight, and I was just right next to where he was. He walked straight to it, rolled up his sleeves, and started packing. He started packing into, and the more I'm saying, Mr. Ackerman, no, don't do this. I couldn't find somebody to relieve him. Eventually, I could find another cashier walking in to say, take over from Mr. Ackerman. But while he was packing, he was looking up to this office upstairs, which we call the Ivory Tower. In there sat the manager, and his name was Mr. Wilcox. I'm not sure if he's still around anymore. But he was looking up to him as if to say, if I can do this, so can you.
And my first encounter with Mr. Ackerman was when I was an article clerk as an accountant. All accountants were invited up to a special lecture by Raymond Ackerman. And there I heard his philosophy on marketing, and in particular, he stressed the fact that the housewife and the lady of the house, they were the queen bees, and if they were treated as such, the business would thrive.
Ackerman is also remembered for his generosity and caring nature. Some of the Cape Townians shared their views.
I remember him, to be quite honest, years ago my grandmother is Jewish, and somewhere along the line I went to his daughter's wedding, and that was when I was 13 years old. But I would like to remember him as for what he's done for Pick n Pay and created a lot of jobs.
And obviously you're always going to Pick n Pay because they've got like these no-name brands, they've got like cheap products. So yeah, he's going to leave on a good legacy and he'll always be remembered. I know his son will carry on the legacy, so yeah.
I've heard about Raymond Ackerman growing up, that he's got built Pick n Pay, so I think it's a brand that's recognized in South Africa. And I think his family can be proud of the legacy left behind for them. I think that's what's most important, and growing a nation economically, creating jobs, I think it's something to be proud of.
Ackerman is survived by his wife, Wendy, children Gareth, Kathy, Suzanne, and Jonathan, his 12 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. Atule Joga, SABC News, Cape Town.